Y'all know what time it is. It's the Brothers Got Next. This is the West Coast edition. I'm in Las Vegas. Darian is holding it back in Maryland. But we wanted to do a quick episode, give you our Super Bowl preview, give you some thoughts on my boys going after Luka. But D, how you doing, man? Real quick, just wanted to check in. What's up with you?
I'm good, man. I'm just happy it's the weekend. I'm probably not having as much fun as you are out in Vegas. It's cold here, of course, and
Yeah.
it was supposed to snow today. We're supposed to get snow, I think, later this week. So, yeah, we're just me and the wife are in the house, just chilling. Probably same things for tomorrow. Watch the Super Bowl here at the house, down in my basement with the 75 inch. So, yeah, just a real
That's the
chill
way to
weekend.
do it. Well, it's about 70
Yeah.
degrees here, man, so we're struggling right now,
Oh, you're struggling. Yeah, it was about 35 out here. Yeah, we're really happy out here.
That's cool, man. But man, I feel like so much has happened since our last podcast. Like a trade that
It
shook up
has,
the
bro.
NBA. Yeah, a trade that shook up the
Yeah.
NBA world happened. Of course, as y'all can see, I'm repping right now. But I wanted to get your thoughts on that trade, man. Obviously, it was a 3-team trade, but the main components of that trade was the Lakers trading Anthony Davis to the Mavericks for Luka Doncic. Darian, what was your first reaction to that trade, and who do you think won the trade?
So it's funny because I was asleep when it happened. I remember
I
waking
was
up to like
too.
go to the bathroom,
Yeah,
and I saw a bunch of text messages from like you. We have group chats, and I'm like, what's going on here? And then I see
yeah.
all these alerts I got. I'm like, why do I have like 20 alerts? So I'm like, so the first thing I saw was breaking news: blockbuster trade. Luka Doncic traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. I was like,
Whoa.
and I was like, is this real? And then
Yeah,
and that's what y'all kind of conversating. I'm like, bro, what? So I I was up for a little bit and I just kind of reading everything like, yo, this can't be real. But then of course I went back to sleep. So when I woke up back in the morning and kind of was more focused and up, um, I was still kind of in a little bit in shock, like because I didn't
yeah,
understand why the Mavs made the move. From the Lakers standpoint, I mean, Anthony Davis is getting a little older. I get it. He
yeah.
wasn't like he's not I thought he'd be part of the future, but not like for a long period. It's like he'd probably be like
Mhm.
short term or whatever. But
Right.
my initial thought was just like, again, I didn't know why the Mavs were trading Luka, right? So the more than I read into it, where reading reports that of course he was like out of shape, and at one point he was 270, and
Hmm.
that he just doesn't have really good work ethic, and the Mavs really had some reservations of paying him, super max money, like 300 something
Right.
$1 million going forward. To knowing it, I get the Mavs apprehension because you see what's going on in Philly with Embiid, right? So I get why the Mavs are apprehensive. Like, wait a minute, do we want to get this guy 300 some $1 million, and he kind of is never going to be in shape? Yeah, don't get me wrong, he got him to the finals last year, which is great, which is awesome. But I mean, they didn't win. You know what I mean? So it's like, and who knows if they're just going to get right back there. I think people sometimes fans are very delusional about when you go to the finals that we'll just get back there. It's just like when teams go to the Super Bowl. Oh, we'll just get back. It's not that easy. You know what I mean? Because teams get better every year. Other teams get better. So
Hmm.
I kind of understood why the Mavs did it. I mean, I get it from like an owner standpoint and like
Hmm.
from a executive standpoint why they did it. I was like, okay. Now would I have probably done it? Probably not. I would have probably tried to get him, help to get in shape and get better diet, just get better work ethic. I would have just got, tried to do that. But I mean, listen, man, Luka's 25. He's a grown adult. And
Hmm.
sometimes, with adults, it's hard to break habits, right? Um, sometimes people are who they are. And I'm not saying he won't be better when he goes to the Lakers, and he won't be better work ethic and in shape, but we got to see. So I get why the Mavs did it. Now for the Mavs getting AD in the short term, I actually like the move because I think they're gonna. When you look at AD, Kyrie, Klay Thompson, and they still have a good front court with Gifford and Lively. I think you have a good front court there.
Hmm.
So I think they can make a little run going, for the second half of the season after the All Star break, going into the playoffs. I mean, this team, I think, is a contender because now Kyrie doesn't have to be like the second fiddle to Luka.
Hmm.
Luka was the one. Now
Right.
Kyrie can just go through Anthony Davis. They can play kind of loose, free. I don't think there's a lot of pressure on them. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, like I think most of the pressure's all with the Luka and the Lakers because that's it's Luka. Yeah,
Hmm.
Anthony Davis, can kind of play freely. Kyrie, Clay, because
Right.
now it's not centered around one person. I think it's going to be more of a team effort, a team kind of game with the Mavs because you don't have to be like, okay, all right, everything has to go through Luka. It's just like now everything doesn't have to go through Kyrie, and I don't think necessarily everything has to go through AD. I think they will go through AD because he's been
Right.
balling this year. It only makes sense for the Mavs to do that. Um, but yeah, I like the trade for the short term for the Mavs. Now, long term, I love the trade for the
Yeah.
Lakers because now they have a superstar they can build around, possibly for the next 10 years. Now, again, I am a little concerned with Luca's conditioning and the work ethic. I want to see how that is going forward because you're not really going to be able to tell that this year because, I mean, LeBron's still there. And to me, LeBron's
Mhm.
still the guy. And that's still LeBron's team. It's not going to be Luca's team this year. So I think we're going to have to really judge that in the next, 1 to 3 years as far as like, okay, how is it
Right. Right.
going with Luca running the show? Because yeah, obviously LeBron's only going to be there another. I mean, I would. I know he's 40. I would assume he's only going to be there for another few years, and
You
then
think?
he's gone.
Yeah.
We think,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, we think. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's hard to judge this trade for the Lakers right now because it's more for the future. Now can the Lakers still make noise in the playoffs? Yeah, they could. Like if
Mhm.
Luka could somehow make that work with LeBron and Austin Reeves, I am a little concerned with the Lakers' depth as far as like their bench and stuff. Like now, like they don't. I'm not really feeling their bench. Like, I mean, I know you still have Rui there.
Mhm.
I know they pick up a big man from the Hornets. What's his name? Mark Williams, I
Yep.
believe. Yeah, and yeah, but then I'm like, who's on their bench? I'm like scratching my head, like, okay, I know they still have Vanderbilt. You know what I mean? But it's yeah, I don't know depth wise that's going to be good enough to kind of contend in the West. Like I still like OKC. I still like Memphis. I still like Denver. And right now it's funny because if the playoffs would end today, you guys will play Denver again. And to be honest, I would like Denver in that series. You know what I mean? If that was to happen, even with Luca.
Right.
Um, so again, this trade to me is really going to be judged if how the Mavs short term do this year and maybe next year and the next 2 years, and then same thing with the Lakers. Like going forward, once it becomes Luka's team, how is that? How can the Lakers build around Luka to be a championship contender? So I don't think it's bad as people saying like it's one sided that the Lakers got the best of the trade and that the Mavs got hosed and it was a horrible trade for the Mavs. I don't see it that way because
Mm.
Anthony Davis is still balling this year. He was an all star. Like the guy, his last game, he put up with 42, 20, and 5 blocks. Like, yeah, he's not a scrub. You're not getting somebody that's like averaging 15, 20 points. This guy's averaging 27, 28 points a game, and you still have Kyrie and Clay there. So, and then I love Jason Kidd as a coach. I think coaching wise, the Mavs still have a better coach than the Lakers. So, yeah, man, like I said, I don't think it's as bad as people are saying it is. Maybe for the future, if Luca ends up being in better shape and work ethic, yes,
I think.
then maybe that you could say, okay,
This whole Luca in shape thing is weird to me because there were reports that he went up to 270. Based off the eye test, he doesn't look 270 right now. When he got off that plane and he did the photo, I'm like, that's 270. Secondly, last year in the playoffs, he led the playoffs in minutes. He played about 40 minutes a game, and he led the playoffs in
mm-hmm.
scoring. So it's like we keep hearing all these things about, oh, Luka's never been in shape. For a guy that's not in shape to lead the playoffs in minutes and points is pretty damn impressive. I'm wondering if it's just the way his body type is. Like, for example, you look at somebody like Jokic, like, he's not like swole. He kind of looks, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's just that now everybody's body's a little different, but I feel like
Right,
that body type is just maybe this is how just Luca is. Because as we know, the way somebody physically looks is not always an indication of how if they're in good shape or not, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like that
right,
doesn't measure your endurance or your stamina just based off of how you look,
right.
because there are
Mm-hmm.
people that weigh more than me that can outrun me, that can do things a lot
Yeah,
better than I
yeah,
can. You know what I mean? So I say all that to say, I think I'm not saying that the topic of Luka's conditioning is not something to address, because obviously the Mavs moved on for a reason. But I also think sometimes do we overrate it a bit because of what we've seen from him for since he's entered the league. Like, he's been getting criticized about his conditioning since he got in the league 5 years ago, and he is still one of the greatest
Right.
scorers we've ever seen over a short period of time. And just real quick, I understand the Mavs frustration, and you said it perfectly. I won't repeat too much of what you said. Like, the short term, this is probably a pretty good move for the Mavs, but the Mavs wanted to think long term. And I think for the Lakers, this is a long term move. Like, you can't really judge it like, ooh,
Right.
are they going to be able to win a title this year? I think this is more about how are they going to look. They have a superstar after LeBron leaves, and I do like the
Right.
I
Right.
like the Mark Williams addition a lot. I agree with you. I don't think their depth on the bench is great. I mean, I'm not even going to mention Bron. But like,
Right.
Gabe Vincent, Jared Vanderbilt, like you said. But I like, Dorian Finney-Smith, who's actually, might actually get some
Mhm.
playing time before Luca gets there. But yeah, you still got guys that are solid, like, Ruri, who's obviously a starter, Austin Reeves. I like their starting lineup a lot, actually, especially with the addition of Mark Williams. So I'm excited as a
Mhm.
Laker fan. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how the Lakers build around him. I haven't been a big fan of Palinka in his tenure, but I'm excited,
Mhm.
man, and it's going to be showtime when he actually is on the court, and he's healthy, and hopefully he sees LeBron's
Right.
work ethic and it's like, yo, I want to work out like this guy. So yeah, we'll see, man. But I'm excited.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to say just real quick. I think you touched on the conditioning, but I think there was also a question of his work ethic, which
Mm,
again, we look. I always tell fans this, and those organizations see this player every day, right? We're
they do.
only getting reports and speculating, right? They
Hmm.
see them every day, so they know their work ethic. They know what they're doing. They know what time they're putting in the gym, in the weight room. We don't know that stuff. We only go off of reports or what reporters
True.
say, and
True.
they don't know everything either because they're not there 24/7. The team is. So his teammates, the coaching staff, the organization sees him most of the time. So I have to trust what they saw, right?
Right.
Um, this whole notion of like, oh, I think the Mavs are just lying and saying that to not look bad in the trade. It's like, no,
Mhm.
I why would they lie about that? Like, they would
Yeah,
have
I don't.
traded him if there wasn't concerns. Like, why would
Right.
they trade him then? Like, you think they just trade him because they didn't like him? Like, oh yeah, we don't like him, so nah, we're gonna trade. Nah, that's not how
No,
sports
I don't really see
the
that.
sports
Yeah.
and business works. It doesn't work that way. So there's obviously was some concern there, whether it was conditioning, work ethic, in long term. And a lot of people were saying this year the reason why he had missed 22 games, I know he's missed more than that now, is that because of the conditioning and the work ethic. Like he came into camp not in shape and not very like, yeah, like I'm not trying to really work hard. You know what I mean? So if that's the case, that's your star player, and you see that he's supposed to lead by example. Of course, you're gonna have concerns as an organization. I don't care if he's 21. You know what I mean? Like, you see what's going on in New Orleans with Zion. You know what I mean? It's the same issue. So
Is trading
it
him the
doesn't
answer
matter. Like,
though? My whole thing is trading him
I
now
say it
the
again.
answer? I don't know if trading him was the answer, but like you said, they had the supermax on the horizon, so they probably wanted to get rid of him before that.
Yes, exactly. They didn't want to pay him 300. What was that? I think it was reported 345 million or something
That would
like
be the
that. Yeah,
same.
he was
Yeah.
eligible for. Yeah, and why would you want to pay that to a guy that you don't think, or you're questioning going forward if the work ethic and conditioning? I'm sorry, if I'm an owner, I agree. Like, I'm paying this guy a lot of money, and if he's not really living up to the contract, or he's not gonna live up to the contract, then it's a bad deal. You know what I mean? Because what if they never got back to the finals? Like, they got back to the finals. Then Sensen is like, well, they ain't been to the finals since.
Mhm.
We don't know. I mean, he could have gone again. I'm not saying he couldn't, but we don't know. He could have not gone either. And it's like, okay, so what are we sitting here saying now? You know what I mean? Like, he didn't do anything after that. So, like,
Yeah,
again, I trust people in the building that know what they're doing, that have been doing this for a while, that know talent and everything in the NBA, scouting and all that kind of stuff. They know what's going on. So I'm going to trust that over myself and yourself and fans that we're only getting reports. Like, we're not there.
it
I'm
doesn't
not
mean
in Dallas.
it doesn't mean organizations don't make mistakes though. This also could be a big mistake on their end. So,
It could be.
yeah, they
I
see a
don't.
lot.
I don't. I don't see it that way because here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. If the Mavs win a title, then Mavs fans need to shut up. If the Lakers down the road win a title, it's a win-win for both. You guys, the Mavs won in the short term. You
Hmm.
guys win long term. Great, awesome. Then it's a wash. It's like, okay, both teams got their titles out of the deal, right? Now it can happen, like you said. You're right. You could be absolutely right. The Mavs can not win anything, in the next 3 years and not do anything, and you can see Luka, and you guys going far. It can go either way. We just don't know until they actually get out there and play. So I know Anthony Davis is going to play tonight, so we're going to finally see the debut with everybody. You know what I mean? Tonight with the Mavs. I know Luka. I think it's Monday. I heard. I think he's supposed to
Yeah, it was
play.
supposed to
So
be today. You know what I find
yeah, man, we just
fascinating
have to wait.
what I find fascinating about the Mavs roster is they kind of have a lot of guys that a lot of people claimed couldn't necessarily, you know, catapults and being number ones on their team. It's all like twos. So
Right,
like Klay Thompson was always like a number two option.
right,
Kyrie's
right,
kind of always been a number two. Anthony Davis, we've tried to put at number one, but we feel like he's always kind of been like a great two. So it's going to be interesting to
right,
see
right,
who really is leading that team because like Anthony Davis is a lead by example guy. Like I don't know if he's necessarily like a
right.
leader though, like a vocal leader. You know what I mean? So that'll be interesting to
But
see.
I do like he does have a motor though. One thing I will say, he does have a motor. Like when he's going, he gets
That's why I
pumped.
said
He's like
that's why I said lead by
yeah,
example. Yeah, he's more
right, right.
exactly.
He's
So
a motor
yeah,
guy, which I don't mind that. I like motor guys.
yeah. No, that'll be
Yeah, I
interesting to
like
see.
motor guys.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
But
We'll
yeah,
see how it goes.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
But cool. Let's transition, man. Super Bowl 59 is taking place tomorrow. We're recording this on a Saturday. Chiefs Eagles, y'all know the deal. Chiefs looking to make history and three-peat. What
Right.
do you like, man? Well, how about this? Give me a bold prediction and then give me your winner.
A bold prediction, but like who's going to be MVP or
Yeah,
who's
I
going.
mean, yeah. Do you have a bold prediction? Saquon to run for 250 yards. Anything? Do you have anything?
I
What
don't know
would?
if this is very bold. I actually see this game more defensively than offensively than most
So
people
you
are
think it
thinking.
could be one of
I
those?
think a lot of people think.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You think it could be like go under the total? Like it could be a more low scoring game than people
Yeah,
think.
because I know a lot of people are think it's going to be. Like, I remember the last time they met, I think it was 38-35. It went. They scored both. I mean, total they scored over 70 points. I don't see it this time around because I think the strengths of these teams on both teams to me are the defensive side. The
Hmm.
Eagles, who are like 1 and 2 all year, the Chiefs were like in the top 5, top 10. Indeed, I think that's their strengths of their teams. So I think I see this game more of a defensive kind of matchup than with the right the total and what the betting number is.
Yeah,
Yeah. So if that's I don't know if that's a bold prediction, but I don't think it's going to be as high scoring as people think. Um, and I think when teams meet like this the second time around in the Super Bowl, obviously the Eagles, because they lost that last time, they're going to make a lot of adjustments.
yeah,
From that last time, and then they have Saquon, like you said, and when having Saquon, when you run the ball, obviously it's time of possession, it's clock. So you're not, Jalen's not throwing. I think last time Jalen threw like 40 times. I don't see him doing that now they have Saquon. So it's
mm,
going to be more of a slower paced game where they're handing the ball to Saquon, hoping he busts a couple and
yeah,
still, play time of possession. Whereas like the Chiefs are opposite. They may throw a little more because they don't really have a running back. You know what I mean? At least like a healthy
yeah.
one that's like
Kareem's been
consistent.
solid. Pacheco, they're all solid, but they're not gonna
Exactly.
like
Yeah,
run
yeah. I
for
don't see them running the ball like this. So Mahomes may throw a little more, but I think the Eagles are going to try to slow the game up, like
for
you
sure,
know,
for sure.
give you a high
Okay,
dose of Saquon, right?
yeah,
And then hope that the Eagles D plays good enough defense to hold the Chiefs. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of the game plan I see for the Eagles. For the Chiefs, again, I think some like Mahomes will probably throw a little more, and then the Chiefs will still try to hold. I think the Chiefs uh, probably like focus point is going to be Saquon. You know what I mean? Is stopping the run because I think they feel like if they could stop Saquon and force Jalen to throw 30, 40 times, that's their way they can win. You know what I mean?
okay.
And Spags, man. I mean, since he's been there, man,
One of the
especially when it
greatest,
comes to
one of
like
the greatest.
I know it's coming to prep and prepping for these playoff games, and you're giving him 2 weeks to prep. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody better. You know what I mean? It's and
Yeah,
of course Andy Reid, of course, as well. So yeah, I don't know,
sounds like you're
man.
leaning towards the Chiefs. Sounds like the Chiefs is
Yeah, but I
the
was about
winning.
to get to that. Yeah, with all that being said, I still think it's a close game, like the first time they met. I just think it's a lower scoring game. So I see this game maybe more of a, I'm gonna say like 24-21 Chiefs. I think it gets in the low
Ooh, it's
20s.
a tight one.
It
It's a
doesn't
tight,
get into
close
the
game.
30s.
Okay.
Yeah, close game, but I think Chiefs pull it out probably by a field goal at the end. But I'll say 24-21 Chiefs. Yeah, I like the Chiefs. As far as my MVP, I'm gonna go with Mahomes. I'm gonna go as our friend calls him a goat. You know what I mean? So yeah, yeah.
All
I
right,
think he gets another
so
MVP because I think he's gonna have to throw a lot. He's not gonna I'm not saying they won't be able to run the ball, but like we already discussed, like, they don't have a strong running back room.
mhm.
So like I said, Kareem Hunt's cool, but Checo's been hurt most of the year. So I think you're gonna see Mahomes throw a lot.
So another bold prediction I wanted you to answer is: will Kendrick perform uh, not like us?
I don't even think that's a bold prediction. I mean, all the reports saying he is. I think he's trying to get clear that he can't obviously say certain
Certain
words and
words.
everything in the song because it's FEC, it's the FCC, and then obviously it's national. I get it, national television. Your boy is going to be there. You know what I mean? So
Oh man,
it's
no.
like I'm just messing with you, but yeah. But I think he'll perform it. It just won't be the way that the song know. Now I will say this, that may not matter because the crowd may say the words because the crowd knows the word, so you
I
can't stop the crowd
yeah.
from saying it. You know
So
what I mean? But I think he's going to clean it up, and yeah, he'll perform it. I don't think there's no doubt of that.
so you can bet on what like the guests he's gonna have. Like, oh, you can put like it's plus minus 100. He brings out SZA, and then Future.
What
Or,
do you mean? What do you mean? But she's already featured on the bill. I don't get that.
no. I'm using that as an example. Like you can bet stuff like that. Like
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah, plus 500. So there's actually a bet plus 5,000 that he brings out Drake. I'm like, who's gonna put money on that?
Yeah, he's supposed to be in Australia, so that would.
That makes
I
no
mean,
sense. But it's a bet.
I
It's
think
a
that would throw.
bold.
Now that would be bold. That would throw everybody for a loop.
I
That would
think
be
we would just
bold.
all be confused. It'd be like, plus, like, yo, if you put like a little bit of money on that, you would win so much money. But that's not happening. Especially
Right.
imagine if
I mean, I heard he announced that he's going to have a big surprise. I heard that.
imagine if he performs "They Not Like Us" and then like a minute later, oh, I'm gonna bring out Drake. I'm like, well, you just dissed him like a minute ago. Oh man, but
Yeah, but I heard he's supposed to have some surprise.
yeah, I think that the units that I'm looking at is the Chiefs D line versus the Eagles O line. Like the line of scrimmage
Mhm.
battle is going to be the key to this game for me. Like I know you had said that like for you, I think the matchups you were looking at, you were focused like on the Eagles defense. For me, it's the Eagles offensive line is key, right? Because if
Okay.
you can hold Chris Jones, if you can hold Laurinaitis, if you can hold those guys and not give Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts already kind of takes a while to throw. If you can protect Jalen
Right.
Hurts, let him let Devonta Smith and well, why am I forgetting the other
AJ
receiver?
Brown.
AJ Brown get loose, and
AJ Brown.
especially if they're playing man. Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
Eagles have an advantage there, and like Saquon's going to break a run. It just always happens. It usually just happens. Like the defenses
Right.
can't do anything about that. And obviously, props to Spagnuolo. He's one of the all-time greats. But Vic Fangio is also a fantastic defensive coordinator too. So I really
Yes.
like the
Yeah.
defensive battle, and I agree. I think it's going to be kind of a lower scoring game in the 20s. I'm going to go Eagles though. I think the Eagles pull it out. I think my bold prediction. I think Jalen Hurts outplays Mahomes. That's my bold prediction.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think the Eagles win 27-23. I think the Eagles do it this time around. I think
Okay.
I think we're a little bit more complete as far as O line, D line, defense. Yeah, and then the Saquon factor, man. Saquon might be the best player on the field on Sunday. I mean,
Mm.
the guy had a
Yeah.
historic season. You could argue he's MVP. So I'm going Eagles, but
Right.
yeah, seems like you think we're going to see a three-peat.
Yeah, bro. I'm just tired of betting against the Chiefs. I've did it the last 2 years. I
You told
thought,
me all year. You told me all year not to.
oh, you're talking about for this year.
No, you told me all year, like, man, don't doubt him. Because remember, I was like, man, this ain't the same team. They're gonna. But you told me all
Yeah,
year.
because you were doing that last year, and I was with you last year. Like last year when they had, like, I remember when everyone's like they had no receivers, they have zero receivers, and
Yeah,
they still won it. And I'm like, bro, I'm not betting against them again. And to
yeah,
be honest, like they actually have receivers now. Like they have a little bit of like everything that everybody said they didn't have last year, they have now. But I see what your point is. I get what you're saying. Like, and I agree with you. If they can't get to Hurts, yeah, it's gonna be a long day for the
hmm
the Kansas City D. Because I think the focus, like I said, is good. They're gonna try to focus on Saquon, obviously, which is
yeah.
right. You know what I
You can
mean?
try all you want, though. It's still hard.
Oh yeah, of course, it's not easy. Um, I think when you talk about Phillies D, yeah, it's it's kind of similar too. They have to get to Mahomes. You know what I mean? Because I think
Yeah,
Mahomes is going to throw a lot in this game. So if they can protect Mahomes and the Eagles can't get there, even though I do like the Eagles secondary,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
I
good.
mean, I like the matchups with the Chiefs receivers because I think even though DeAndre Hopkins is not what he used to be, he's still pretty productive and pretty effective. And then you still
Yeah,
have Xavier Worthy who can once he gets the ball, good luck because in open field you're not catching him. I mean, he's arguably. I mean, I don't think he's. I think yeah. Well, him and Tyreek, they're like the two fastest guys in the league.
and I'm gonna be real
So
with you. We'll
you
probably even see like like I feel like Juju still makes like big catches. He'll have like three catches, but they're all like big. Like, damn, where'd
I
he come from?
know, and or like Nicole Hardman. Remember, like last
I
year, he
mean,
had the game
Nico,
winner. I'm
yeah,
like, where did
Nico,
he
yeah,
come from?
Nico. They'll just have like random, like, damn, where did that come from? So, Kelsey's gonna make
Yeah, and
big
I think it
plays.
was big getting Hollywood Brown back. I thought it was really big getting Hollywood Brown. Remember, he was hurt almost a year,
Yeah,
and
he
you can see
was.
he's been a really big impact in the playoffs. So that
Yeah,
was huge getting him back as well. So
yeah.
yeah, man, I think the Chiefs. I just like I said, I'm just not going against them like I have the last 2 years. I just
The
think
24-21 Eagles. About the
right, and
Chiefs.
you have
You're
mm-hmm,
24-21 Chiefs. I'm 27-23 Eagles. So we will
yes,
see how it
mm-hmm.
goes, man. But enjoy watching the game.
Yeah,
One
you do
day,
the
one
same. I know
day,
you're having a
yeah,
big
one
party over
day we
there.
might be. Yeah, it'll be fun. My brother's house in Vegas having a Super Bowl party. We might be old one day when this happens. Well, who knows, man? Maybe we'll see Steelers, Cowboys in the Super Bowl again. We're
Yeah,
gonna
it's
be
gonna
like
be a long
80.
time for that.
We're gonna be like 80. Like, man, we
Yeah, we might
finally
be,
did it.
bro. We'll be in our wheelchairs. People have to wheel us to the game. Like, yeah, I'm going to the Super Bowl because I'll be retired. I don't care. I don't really care about money at that point. I'm like, yeah, I'm going. So you just have to wheel me in. I just have to be, in the handicap
No
spot.
doubt.
So yeah,
But cool, man. We'll do it again next week. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. And yeah, man, enjoy.